Recorded live in the Fantasmo Lounge atop the beautiful Non Sequitur building in beautiful downtown Chesapeake. It's Fantasmo After Dark with your host, Vice Admiral Tony Mercer and Rob Floyd. Tonight's topic, whatever we feel like talking about.
All right. So we can't ruin the genius of the Non Sequitur building with your obvious groping for titles.
You caught that, didn't you?
5-star General Mercer or whatever the hell that was. So
Vice Admiral.
I'll fix that in the edit. No problem. No problem.
Well, yeah, I think Vice Admiral is a promotion from Rear Admiral, isn't it? At least you moved to the front.
Maybe I didn't want to move to the front. You ain't know.
Hey, all right. We can always be demoted. So why don't you explain our topic for tonight? What do we call it? Intermission?
Yeah.
Which is great because it relates to one of my favorite parts about old grindhouse drive-in films was the intermission.
Yep. Which, I got nothing to say about about that. I think the idea was just let's do a podcast. Let's do the Seinfeld podcast, a podcast about nothing. With this particular episode, anyway. Let's just chat. Let's have a chat.
We'll just chat. We'll just wing it. Whatever comes to mind.
No topic.
But talking about the topic about intermission, and like I was saying, my favorite part of the old drive-ins, and is those old intermission shorts, the things that would play between the films. Let's all go to the lobby, and the movie starts in 5 minutes. Kids, be sure to get to the snack bar and get your tasty treats. I dig those little short film clips. I love them. I've got 6 or 8 DVDs full of that stuff. And the times that we've gone to the actual drive-in up in what's that town in Pennsylvania? Vandergrift. That amazing drive-in up there.
Super Drive-In Monsterama.
That's right.
The Riverside Drive-In.
It's amazing to see those on the big screen like that and actually experience it. It's so much fun. And there's so many of those things out there. Man, it's not like you can get a set and collect them all. Tons every time. I always see different ones whenever they show up from time to time. And they're always unique and fun, and you can tell what decade they were in, whether it was the late 50s, 60s, 70s, or up to the early 80s.
I like the one where it's the burlesque dancer wearing the balloons, and the balloons are popping as she's counting down to the
4 minutes to showtime.
It's a little cartoon here, folks. I'm talking about, not an actual burlesque dancer.
Yeah, which that would be pretty cool too.
That's a whole other film short.
I love all of them from the different eras, but the ones that kind of
Blaze Star presents.
The ones that kill me are the ones that came about right like when Star Wars was popular, or when Star Wars first came out. So they try to tweak these drive-in or snack bar ads with the space feel and these bad effects of a toy spaceship going and come to the snack bar, kids, and get all your outer space treats or whatever.
And then like a Sprite drops out of the out of the hangar bay.
I'm gonna have to dig out some of this stuff and put it on the Fantasmo After Dark Facebook page. That's right, there is a Fantasmo After Dark Facebook page, kids.
Fantasmopod@gmail.com. Too soon? Did I come in too soon?
What are you, the Micro Machine guy? What the hell is that? Something just ran through the room here and out the front door.
It's like post-traumatic stress or something. He's gonna call for the email address.
Wait for it. Yeah. But as I was saying, you want to drop us a line, say we suck, or say you like what we've been talking about. Make a comment on the Fantasmo After Dark Facebook page. Really easy to find. Or if you're so inclined to write a lengthy email. What is that email address?
Or even a short email.
Fantasmopod@gmail.com. Something like that.
Fantasmopod@gmail.com.
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
I think I've heard that before.
That's never mind. Fantasmopod. P-O-D.
As in podcast.
That's right. Short for podcast.
See what we did there?
Work of genius.
All right.
So what the hell you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've been busy with the holidays and with trying to reorganize and paint a room in the house to set up all my monster collectibles again, which have been packed away for a while. In between all that, trying to get panels ready for MarsCon, which is coming up and will probably be already done by the time this airs.
Probably, yeah.
But it's going to be pretty cool. I'm doing 4 panels, presentations this year. One is on, I think the first one is on horror hosts. I'm calling it Horror Host, or How We Got to See Classic Horror Movies Before Netflix and DVD. The next one, I'm on a panel with Elizabeth the Pickle Lady on Monsters, Mayhem, and I think it's Monsters, Mayhem, and Madness.
And pickles.
Why We Love Horror and All That It Entails.
You coined that one yourself?
No, that's I was asked to be on the panel, and we're going to talk about classic horror movies. And hey, I like puns, but I try not to use them myself that much. I leave that to the professionals.
Yeah.
But that's going to be kind of interesting. I think it's going to be more of a discussion, kind of a round table. We'll be talking about classic horror and modern horror and get the audience involved more. It'll be more like a panel. Most of the ones I do are more like presentations with a PowerPoint and me standing up there and just running my mouth for about an hour or so. The next one I'm doing, and these are all back to back on Friday night. These first 3. The one after that is blaxploitation horror, which is going to be fun.
And will probably reappear as an episode of Fantasmo after dark.
It'll be slipped in there somewhere. I'm sure. Next night, Saturday, I'm not done. That's only 3. I've got one more.
Keep it moving, son.
Saturday night, I'm doing one called the Grindhouse Experience.
I know that. I realize the intermissions are typically full of promotions, but for the love of God, keep it moving, will you?
All right. The 4th panel I'm doing is on Grindhouse films. The Grindhouse Experience and all it entails, the golden era of Grindhouse from the 60s and 70s.
It should have been the Grindhouse Experience and all it entrails. I'm in the MarsCon spirit, people.
I'm smelling a running gag. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, what I've been got going on besides, real life and work and all that kind of crap.
So have you done an audience participation dependent panel before?
I've been a part of them at other conventions, and I think I unconsciously chose when I do them, when I put one together myself because of those experiences, to do more of a presentation. And it's great when people do join in,
but when they don't,
and that's the thing. I've been a part of some panels where they don't join in, and you got to really kind of, instead of being part of the conversation or a moderator, you have to carry the entire thing and pull teeth to get people to talk.
Right.
I was on one at RavenCon a few years ago, which was I forget what it was called, but it was like late night or rock and roll musical cult films or musicals or something like that, or rock and roll cult films. And example was like, Rocky Horror. And so they asked me to be on. I'm like, well, sure. Okay. I can talk about that. And it'd be cool to talk about Phantom of Paradise and rock and roll and, and all these other heavy metal and all this other stuff. And, it was me and 2 other people, and
Trick or Treat starring Mark Skippy Price.
No, you weren't there.
Because that's what would have been
you, boy.
If I were there.
That would have been the flagship topic.
Rock's chosen warriors will rule the apocalypse. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're making the Dio devil hands right now. But the crowd was like, it took quite a while to get anybody. It's like they all sitting there starry-eyed, just blank looking at us and waiting to hear what we had to say.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, come on, we're all trying to get going here and have a conversation. And luckily, one of the other guys on the panel had done Rocky Horror a lot over the years, so we kind of kept going back to that and using examples from that, and to segue into getting to talk about some other films. But now I've done some panels too where people or my presentations or whatever, where people are interested and they start talking and I get some information from them and, and points I hadn't thought of and we get a conversation going. It's cool. And that's great. But I think I put them together so I can give a presentation just in case people aren't going to, join in. So I kind of designed them that it can go either way.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at is by asking if you had done one of those before. I was going to say, you make sure you got enough material to do the whole thing by yourself if you have to, because that's a dicey proposition. Now, I did that one at the most recent Monster Fest. And now I've done them before where, the participation piece doesn't work out and you just better be able to talk.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I can do that. But, so I did one at Monster Fest this year or last year.
Which one was it?
The Godzilla thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
And that went really well. Yeah. Everybody was into it. And what I think I learned from that experience was what you really need is one person to speak up and one person in the audience to speak up and either say something that makes everybody go, yeah, and get excited, or say something that makes at least somebody go, hey, wait a minute, no way.
Yeah.
Because once that happens, then the dialogue starts and it becomes a dialogue because, it's kind of, it's a difficult thing to ask an audience to do because just because you're comfortable with public speaking doesn't mean everybody that's come to join the panel or see the panel is comfortable with public speaking, And if nobody's going to break the ice, then that's what it feels like to be that first one or two to speak up, is like you're in a public speaking situation. But again, once I think somebody steps out and says something that gets a reaction from people, then it becomes the atmosphere becomes charged and it becomes a dialogue, and then everybody wants to join. I mean that was more or less what happened at the Godzilla panel, and it was fun. I mean, and people had some really interesting things to say, and I learned something, and that's always fun. That makes it worth it.
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, because that happened to us. One of the first or the second panels we did at MarsCon when Jim was still around here, and we did a Team Fantasmo panel on post-apocalyptic films. Because I think that was the theme of MarsCon that year. Yeah. And it was I believe it was a 2-hour panel. And we had it packed. I mean, that we could, enough stuff to cover 2 hours. And it was weird because we started out and I'm like, we're going through this stuff fast. Okay, I hope we got enough. But once we passed that first hour, it's like, oh God, I hope we got enough time to get the rest of this in. But it was just us talking most of the time until, I take a taste of my salad there. I think Torres came in to catch the panel, and it was cool because he was
now the party has started.
The party had started. Torres came in the room, and he sat up front and just started talking with us about some of these films, and other people started joining in, and it was cool because we were all going around, and everybody loved these types of films that were in there. So we had a good dialogue going around and laughing and having a good time.
You had a ringer basically. You had Torres come in.
Didn't know I had a ringer because I wasn't at the time. Didn't know him as well at the time, but yes, it was a ringer, and that one was a lot of fun. And I think I made revamp that panel, post-apocalyptic panel at some point, or presentation. I should call them presentations, and do that again later on at another convention. Yeah, because it's a good topic, and you could go different ways. I mean, we talked quite a bit about Planet of the Apes, in one section of that.
You got to watch some of the '80s Italian ones. Because those are fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like New Barbarians and Bronx Warriors and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's good stuff.
I definitely... Fred Williamson was in that, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. He was in a bunch of those.
Yeah, I'll have to get into that.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. You should brush up on that stuff for your next go at that panel for sure.
All right.
It'll be inspiring.
Right. Sounds good. When I was doing this, originally, I was going to do the Grindhouse panel, was going to be a 2-hour panel. And then I thought about it. It's like, okay, well, they're going to schedule it probably later at night, typically. And there's a burlesque show at MarsCon this year I know some people that are going to be in it, Ellie Quinn, and I want to see that. So I didn't want my panel running into that, for one thing. And also, too, I was like, man, I wasn't sure how it was going to be scheduled, but I know last year they did schedule my panels back-to-back, and after that third hour, my voice was starting to go, and I was really tired and hungry, and it turns out on Friday night, I do have 3 panels scheduled back-to-back. Luckily, the one in the middle isn't just me, though, so that's going to be kind of a little break. So I scaled the Grindhouse panel back to an hour, And when I was starting to put it together over the last week or two, I was like, holy crap, this is going to be the Cliff Notes version, because it's such a broad, open topic to talk about, and the different genres that are kind of, within the Grindhouse genre itself. It could easily 2-hour panel to go over and get a little more in depth about some of the films and the important ones from that era that have stuck around, and then some of the oddball ones that haven't, that people probably should see, or would like to see, that they don't know about. And then, classifying each genre and what was important about it. And I'm not going to do the whole panel right here. But it's easily a 2-hour presentation.
Well, maybe you're going to end up having to do it right here, not right here, right now, but right here in the lounge, because we're essentially pimping a convention that no one who hears this subsequently will be able to go to because it'll be over. But,
yeah. Hey, if you were at MarsCon and enjoyed the presentations we're talking about,
let us know at Fantasmopod. gmail.com.
Or, hey, write to the people at MarsCon and tell them how much you enjoyed the Fantasmo panels. Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
So, hey, did I tell you I saw the
Fantasmotastic.
Oh, God. And all it entrails.
That was just for you. Did you tell me you saw what?
The Quadrophenia movie.
No. How was that?
Yeah, I went ahead and picked it up at the last Criterion sale.
Ooh.
On the Blu-ray, and I enjoyed it very much.
Cool.
No clue if you'll like it, but you should definitely see it. I mean, that's one of those things you got to at least be curious.
Oh well,
about,
I love the Who, so I have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Tommy numerous times, and that's an oddball film.
Now, Quadrophenia, it's not a musical like Tommy is.
Yeah.
Like the characters on screen don't sing the Who music or whatever. Just the songs from the album provide sort of the background.
Oh, okay.
Music.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, it doesn't follow the story super. I would say the important themes from the story told on the album, such as it is, are there. The important themes are there, but it doesn't follow the story exactly because it doesn't deal with like the split personality thing, at all. Where on the album. Jimmy's supposed to have 4 personalities, each one representing, the 4 members of the Who or whatever. They do away with all that in the movie, and it's just about the whole. He's a mod in the early '60s, and he's part of that whole scene, and his identity is very much invested in it. And then he's disappointed by his friends, and disappointed by the girl he likes, and disappointed by life, and all that kind of stuff.
Isn't that Gordon Sumner? Isn't he in that?
He is, in fact. Yeah, he is. The ace as the ace face. I don't think his character has a name. They just call him the ace. And at least not a name that we ever hear. Anyway, probably shouldn't say too much about it because, hey, maybe one day we'll cover it as an episode. Except that you should see it, and I dug it. And
I'm all about it.
One of the interesting things about it is that it's about. So again, Jimmy's a mod in the early '60s, and it's rooted in that culture. Mm-hmm. But the movie was made or released in '79, so this would have been, as the first wave of punk has crashed at this point.
Okay.
And from what I understand, it did very well with that audience at that time because they identified with it a lot. And I would say, and I did, and I would say anyone who was in any way a counterculture kid, if you were a punk rock kid or a goth kid or the metalhead or whatever, if your identity was invested to some extent in some kind of countercultural thing, and you had a circle of friends who were into the same stuff, and your relationship was at least partially rooted in the mutual interest in that or whatever, I think you'll definitely get something, or you'll identify to some extent with what goes on in the Quadrophenia movie for sure. So
cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
I would like to see. That's one of those films that I've heard about for years, and it's always been on the list, to see, but I just have never got around to seeing it. So I'm glad you picked it up.
Yeah. Which, I guess God, because I was off from work. I took a 2-week. Had too much vacation at the end of the year again, so I took 2 weeks off.
Oh, darn. I hate when that happens. To me, never.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a testament to how much vacation I didn't take throughout the year, if you remember.
Yeah, that's true.
Or if you keep that in mind, I should say. But that whole 2-week period is mostly lost in a video game haze, so I watched exactly...
He OV'd.
I watched... OV'd. And all it entrails. I watched precisely no movies in the whole 2 weeks. I was, yeah, no. 0, none. And, that Quadrophenia that I'm just now getting around to telling you I watched. I think I watched that in November sometime. We've been busy.
We've had a busy December, kids. Hey, speaking of movies, because that's what we always talk about here usually. Always usually?
Always usually.
Right on. I got a late Christmas present. I don't know if I've talked to you about it yet.
I don't think so.
It came in the mail. Phyllis got me Roku for Christmas.
Neat.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been diving. I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down with it. Just an hour here, an hour there. You know, you spend most of that time just going through the channels, you know, and seeing what you've got available to watch. I did, while I was painting, I put on, they've got the Zombie TV is one of the channels and some horror host stuff. Yeah. So I got to see a little bit of John Dime's new show on there. You Better Watch It.
Nice. Since
he's retired the Dr. Sarcophagi character, and now he is just John Dimes. I was going to say plain old John Dimes, but there's nothing about Dimes that's plain. No. Very serious on this one, and I was disappointed that he's only introducing the film. There's no cutaways to him throughout the film. So, John, do something about that if you're listening. I got to get my Dimes fix, and I didn't get enough of it there. But I did go over to Mr. Lobo's show and put that on while I was painting in the house and all. And it was pretty cool. I mean, you know, it's like when I used to watch Dr. Madblood. You know, you've got he's the horror host. He introduces the movie, a goofy little skit thing going on. You see some of the movie, and then it cuts back to his little skits. But also, he has vintage commercials on there and trailers for other movies and other oddball little film clips that it's a lot of fun. It especially if you're not really invested in the movie that they're showing, when Gamera Super Monster or Prince of Space, and how could you get invested in those? The commercials are just aghast to see, like for a Thing Maker. You remember that toy or Inchworm and stuff like that, and then some of the old trailers and stuff. It was a lot of fun. But going through those other channels, man, there's so much stuff on there.
You know what it made me think of when you were talking about the vintage commercials?
What's that?
The Star Wars Holiday Special debacle we had last Christmas.
Where we made Kim watch it.
Yeah. So, okay, years ago.
And she's a better person for it. Here's to you.
Years ago, right? I want to say, wasn't it right before when Revenge of the Sith was about to come out? Wasn't that what it was all about?
Okay.
I want to say that's what it was. So I guess this would have been 2004, 2005. I'm bad with time.
In the way back days.
So we did a Star Wars marathon is the point here.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Smartasses that we were. And it wasn't just Rob and I, it was a bunch of other people too. But smartasses that we were, we decided as part of the Star Wars marathon, we'd watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. I guess, between episode 4 and episode 5. Where it belongs as a canonical part of the story.
Yes.
And
the first appearance of Boba Fett.
So we had this bootleg videotape, which, that's really the only way well, I guess they have bootleg DVDs nowadays. But,
yeah. Which was made from the bootleg videotape.
Right. Which is really the only way you're going to see the holiday special. And we sat through the bloody thing.
Oh, God.
And it was... Oh, God, yeah. It hurts so bad. It's so difficult to watch.
It is a rite of passage, a test of manhood.
But the commercials were fantastic. The vintage commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because the tape still had the commercials from when it was aired. And, wow. I mean, I was a little kid when that thing aired. But more than the special itself, the commercials were just this really nostalgic experience. I mean, you really felt like you were transported back to
it's gold
to the late 70s. So years later, flash forward, it's been discussed for a long time that my wife has never seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, and therefore is not, because she does not bear these scars. You know, the abused become abusers. We all know that's the cycle, right?
One of us.
So because she does not bear these scars that we bear, you know, we demand that at some point she must experience a Star Wars Holiday Special. But the whole time we're telling her, you can at least look forward to the commercials. These commercials are fantastic. You're going to have such a good experience with the commercials. So we put this is last Christmas. We put the videotape on. We're watching it. And it's, again, so bad.
Was it just last Christmas?
Painful.
It seems like it was 100 years ago.
So painful. And we're waiting for the commercials to be our salvation, and we're waiting, 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 and it never happens, and oh my God, what's going on? And eventually we figure out that what we thought was Rob's bootleg videotape of Star Wars Holiday Special that actually has the commercials on it was another guy that was there that day. Hi, Mikey, if you're listening. It was his tape. He had it. His version had the commercials. Art had none. So we were doing the Holiday Special without a net, people. Okay, no cushion whatsoever. We snorted pure Bolivian Holiday Special.
And survived that rite of passage. We are now men.
Yeah.
We can go out into the world.
That's right. Been circumcised.
By George Lucas.
With a sharp rock. Hey, George had nothing to do with that. Don't put that on George.
Oh, okay. How about a coked
George
out
is the
Carrie
reason
Fisher?
why it's hard to see.
Oh, jeez.
Coked out Carrie Fisher.
Happy Life Day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did it. We watched it in its entirety, and it was, if you've never seen it, do yourself a favor next Christmas and don't watch it. Or do yourself a favor before the new Star Wars comes out and watch it, and then see how lucky you were. Oh, man. But getting back to Roku.
Yeah, Roku. Roku's cool.
Because I will always bring the topic back around.
Did you get the stick or the box?
I got the stick. And
that's cool. I got the stick.
Yeah, it just goes right into the back of the TV. You don't even see it. Yeah. You can get the app for your phone, which I don't have yet. But it was cool, man. I was looking through all the channels, and there's one Grindhouse channel, and then you go on that, and it's got different genres. You can just pick what genre, and Abby is on there. Yes, the Blaxploitation Exorcist, which I'll be watching this week to prepare for my panel at MarsCon. But there's so many other... God, I can't remember. There's so many other things. I was like, I got to go back and watch that. I got to go back and watch that. I got to go back and watch that. A lot of these films I've been wanting to see for years and just haven't got around to seeing. Stuff might not even be on DVD.
Yeah. Well, you can subscribe to the Warner Archive on there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I've got that. I've got like that and a few others free for like a month.
Oh, do you? Okay, cool.
Yeah, when you first sign on. So.
I want to say it's like $8.99 or something for the Warner Archive. It's worth it for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch it as much as I wish I did, but I just don't make the time for it. But the few times I've sat down to watch it something on it, it's certainly paid for itself in greatness, like that Suzanne Summers TV movie I was talking about on a recent episode of Fantasmo After Dark. No, but they had the uncut Salem's Lot in high def on there around Halloween time. I don't know if it's still on there or not. Stuff rolls off. Yeah. But I want to say the last time I had seen Salem's Lot, it was the edited down wasn't the original VHS release edited down to like movie length or something?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's the one I saw.
It was a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Or something.
But I watched it, and they had it in HD even, which hopefully that means that someday, if they've done an HD master of it, hopefully that means it'll see the light of day on Blu-ray, because I will certainly buy it, because I enjoyed the hell out of Salem's Lot, man. I thought that was really good.
I cannot tell you the last time I watched it. I don't remember anything about it except that Hutch was in it, and James at 17.
James at 17 was damn sure in it.
And, what's his name? James Mason.
Fred Willard.
Fred Willard's? Well, shit. Yeah. If I wasn't going to watch it before, I'm going to watch it now.
Fernwood's Lot.
I want to see that. I want to see that movie. Fernwood's Lot tonight. There it is.
No, but I sat down. I put it on.
Yeah.
And I want to say Kim was out. I was in the house by myself. I want to say it was when you guys were taping the Mad Blood special.
Yeah.
I just turned it on. I was going to watch like 10 minutes of it just to see how good the transfer
And you got sucked in.
I sat there and watched the whole thing. And it's like 4 hours long.
Oh, fantastic!
And it just went right by. I couldn't believe it.
That's cool.
I really liked that a lot. It had a great atmosphere to it. It moved at a decent clip.
Yeah.
And I wish I was talking about it when I had seen it more recently, so I could have something of more substance to say. But I will say this. If the big finale where our heroes enter the vampire's lair, it's very much what you might call the interior sets of the vampire's lair are sort of a redo of the Texas Chainsaw House.
Oh,
and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's actually really cool. It was a really good idea. I think. I don't know if it was. I mean, I assume it was Hooper's idea to sort of draw on that as the inspiration for the vampire's lair. Different colors, like there's a lot more greens than reds and things like that. But the whole, feathers on the floor and all the bones and weird taxidermy and all that stuff that goes on. That's all in there, and it works really well. It gives it all this really great atmosphere, and I think it was a really valid choice to do that, because you got to figure in 79 or 80 or whenever that was, a lot of people still hadn't seen Chainsaw. I mean, I mean, a lot of people had. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know that it wasn't like no one had seen it, but it was still.
No, but it wasn't readily available to the masses.
Right.
You either saw it at a drive-in or you didn't see it yet.
Yeah. So to sort of take that, and it was a great idea, and to take it and reapply it and use it in a new way and soup it up a little bit for a wider audience, I thought that worked well. It was cool. You should watch it again.
Well, I will sit down with that. It's another one that's been on the list, and I just haven't got around to seeing.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I will look for that. Anything else on the Warner Archives channel there that stands out?
Well, both of the Black Belt Jones movies are on there. So that's awesome.
I think they're on a couple of channels on Roku. Actually, I think they're on one of the Grindhouse channels, and
but these are really good quality on them.
Oh well,
there's tons and tons of stuff.
You mean Scatman and a Karate Gi in high def?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right on.
No, there's tons of stuff. Well, one thing, I mean, for the cult / horror crowd specifically, there's some Hammer stuff on there in high definition, stuff that Warner has, like Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed and Taste the Blood of Dracula and some others like that haven't been released yet on Blu-ray anywhere, but that are I should say, that they have pretty decent high def masters of up on the Warner Archive site. Lots of weird oddball TV choices. What's that 80s slip? That 80s sword and sorcery TV comedy with Jeff Conaway. What was that thing? Was it called Swords and Sorcerers or something like that?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
it was awful.
It's that's on there. I watched. I can't remember the name. I think it's called Swords and Sorcerers. It's something along those lines.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But I watched the first episode of that.
Painful.
Not too long ago. Yeah, horrible. But pretty neat. But the
and speaking of Dick Gaudier,
that was last time.
But speaking of Dick Gaudier, what you did
for real. Speaking of Dick Gaudier,
for reals, yo.
Yeah.
As the kids say these days. You're talking about the bad TV show, Swords and the Sorcerers. Do you remember the Mel Brooks TV show, When Things Were Rotten?
No,
Dick Gaudier playing Robin Hood.
Nice.
And there was a character on there, I can't remember his name, who was like, his twin brother was Prince John, or I think something like that. I can't remember anybody else that was in it, except that guy and Dick Gaudier.
That does sound vaguely familiar.
When Things Were Rotten. And I think Maid Marian was, what's her name? Character actress, ditzy blonde. You'd see show up on a lot of stuff in that early 70s era. Look that up. when things were rotten.
I will.
And I do believe Mel Brooks was either writer or executive or producer or something of that.
Well, I think this is probably the best way to sell the Warner Archive. If you know who William Powell is,
Yeah.
and you have ever lamented the dearth of a William Powell material on DVD outside of like the Thin Man series and a few other things, you need to have the Warner Archive channel in your life on your Roku. So,
well, there you go, folks. Sold.
see, this being in the Intermission episode, I don't have to explain
The what? The Intermission?
Intermission.
Intermission.
Yeah. Intermission. It's the new technique from the Don Bluth company.
Intermission, where you are inside the animation from Don Bluth.
Actually, I probably shouldn't pin that on Bluth.
Why not? He's not here. You always pin it on a guy that's not here.
What I was going to say was that should be a Bakshi thing, and it will utterly fail. Anyway, but yeah, the point was simply that this being the Intermission episode, I don't have to explain who William Powell is. Don't have to, and I shouldn't have to. People, go watch,
read a book,
go watch.
Or in this case, watch a movie.
Yeah, screw books. Bye.
Oh.
Watch more movies.
Okay, I'll go with the watch more movies part.
I ain't one for your book learning.
You fancy book learning there. But I'm loving the Roku, and I hope I have some time after. Let's see. Well, after MarsCon, I don't think I have anything pressing in February except the next Fantasmo, which is going to be since it's February is Black History Month. The next Fantasmo Cult Cinema Explosion at the Chesapeake Central Library, 298 Cedar Road. Free cult movies, double features. First Friday of February is going to be Blaxploitation, and we're going to show Willie Dynamite, and then we're going to show Black Dynamite. And they weren't picked just because they sound alike. Willie Dynamite.
It's my nephew Bucky. He OD'd. What are we going to do, Black Dynamite?
Where's Bucky? What's he done? What's he had?
Where is Bucky and what has he had?
I told you not to interrupt me while I'm doing my kung fu. Black Dynamite, if you have not seen it, is an amazing send-up of every blaxploitation movie ever made. It has got every cliche, every thing it has to have to feel like it's a blaxploitation movie, but done in a way that they're making fun of it.
Well, all you really have to say to sell Black Dynamite is that the line we just quoted is in itself a quote from Rudy Ray Moore's Disco Godfather. And if you know what that is and you haven't seen Black Dynamite, then Black Dynamite, my friend, is for you.
Oh yeah. But it's got every blaxploitation character in it. I mean, it's got
Carol Speed. Sorry.
It's got the hot chick who's tough. It's got the Shaft character. It's got the Dolomite character. It's got the is he gay or not pimp character,
Yeah.
Cream cone. But the coolest thing, one of the main reasons that I put those two together to show it at Fantasmo,
Pimp Council,
is the Pimp Council scene. Willie Dynamite has got this scene where he goes to the Pimp Council, and they recreate that scene, sort of super satire in Black Dynamite, and it's amazing how similar the scenes are.
Yeah. Although I must say, now I saw the Pimp Council in Black Dynamite before I even seen Willie Dynamite, and I take nothing away from that scene. It's great, but oh my god, nothing beats the Willie Dynamite
vision. Vision.
Oh god, that's so awesome.
Oh, I
couldn't believe how awesome that was the first time I saw it. I personally watched that scene I don't know how many times, and then I dragged a bunch of people in front of the TV and made them watch it too.
Yeah. The thing about Willie Dynamite is so cool, man. The blaxploitation genre.
And by a bunch of people, I mean you and Craig, because God knows I don't really know a bunch of people. There's not that many people that come visit me. I'm a sad, pathetic human being. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the Fantasmo Lounge we do have from a limited capacity from Fire Marshal. We can't have that many people up here. Aside from the Fantasmo broads and all that. But
bunnies. Not going to do anything hysterical up here, folks. Going to get the booze, get the broads, sing some songs, get the hell out of here.
What he said. But getting back to Willie Dynamite.
Is that what we were talking
That's
about?
what we were talking about. I got sidetracked with the broads there. It's a blaxploitation film that you never hear about. You always hear about Shaft. You always hear about Dolomite. You hear about Pam Grier. And don't get me wrong, I love those films. They're a lot of fun. You hear about Blackula, but you don't hear about Willie Dynamite. And it is like, it's like the blaxploitation film. It's got all the cliche stuff in it. You've got the lead of the film is actually a bad guy. I mean, he's a pimp.
He's a pimp.
But he's the hero of the film.
Played by Gordon from Sesame Street.
That's right. I was getting to that. Oh God, what's his real name?
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
I could have told you too. Anyway, yeah, the lead, Willie Dynamite, is the second or third Gordon, the current Gordon from Sesame Street, playing Willie Dynamite, a pimp who beats his hose. And I'm glad I didn't see this movie as a child, because it would have scarred me for life. No, Gordon, don't!
Yeah.
But it is so much fun, if nothing else, to see the outfits that Willie Dynamite wears as Super Pimp.
That is true. Those outfits are awesome.
So come on out to Fantasmo on the first Friday in February and watch Willie Dynamite and Black Dynamite for free. And hang out, won't you? So anyway, that's all I got on that one.
All right.
So what else you got going on? What else you been thinking about?
Let's see. Oh, you know what? You'll be interested in this. I checked in on the New 52 recently.
Oh, yeah?
Still terrible. In case you were wondering. Still awful.
I was hoping you were gonna say, checked in on it, and guess what? They're canceling it.
No.
So, hey, since this is typically a cult film, horror film podcast.
Yep.
Are there any Blu-rays or DVDs coming out soon that you've pre-ordered or you're looking forward to getting?
You asked me that during the one time this year where I haven't been paying any attention. Well, in the last year, I should say, that I haven't been paying any attention.
Well, just make something up. Ain't nobody gonna know. Invasion of the Blood Farmers is coming out on Blu-ray. I've been looking forward to getting that for years. Watch it really be coming out. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Spittin' Cobras is out on...
I said we're not going to talk about porn.
Blu-ray. I don't know. Yeah, honestly, I haven't...
Hey, we can talk about porn. Here you go. How's this?
What?
Okay, in a roundabout way. Talking about those intermission shorts and trailers, those discs that I collect. The 42nd Street Forever trailer disc that came out. Don't you have a couple of those?
I don't.
Okay. Oh, Craig's got them.
Yeah.
Craig's got them. Okay. And I've got a few. I think I've got the first one and the third one, and then the exploitation one. Those are fantastic. They've got all these great trailers and all. Well, I picked up the one. I think I told you I've had it for a while. But it's the 42nd Street Forever XXX trailer disc. And it's just a couple of hours of porn trailers.
Just a couple hours.
Just a couple hours.
Just a couple hours of porn trailers.
Of porn trailers from the late 70s, the early 80s stuff. And they're amazing. It's nothing like what people think of porn today. It's always like the old porn movies. They made movies that had X-rated scenes in them, not like they make X-rated scenes and try to make it into a movie nowadays.
So what you're saying is, they made movies where the dwarves were stepping Snow White, but in between scenes of stepping, they were still skipping to work singing hi ho, hi ho.
There was a story made you care about the characters. That's what I'm saying.
That's when I care about the characters.
I care about the characters. I care about... But no, if you like adult entertainment, that trailer disc is a lot of fun. But the other disc in that series of the 42nd Street Forever trailer disc are a lot of fun too. I mean, they're well put together, and you get a variety of different action, kung fu, nudie cutie foreign comedies and things like that. And the 42nd Street Forever, was it? Is it? That's what just 42nd Street Forever trailer disc.
Yeah.
There's the Alamo Drafthouse edition. There's the Exploitation edition. I think there's number 1, 2, and 3 or something like that. I don't know how many they've got out now. But check those out if you like cult films and all the stuff we talk about. They're a lot of fun and really pretty easy to get, I think.
Yeah, the rest of them aren't porn, by the way.
No, there was just that one.
Yeah.
That is
just a couple hours of
it's just a couple hours.
Triple X porn trailers.
You know.
Goes by in a blink.
Yeah, How much more do you need?
No hair, no flair. Oh, God.
You're working blue, kid.
Because we got nothing left.
We got nothing left. Oh, man. What should we... we could end this, I guess. We've been talking about an hour and a half about nothing. Or lot.
By the time I've done editing, we'll have been talking for an hour about...
Yeah, you can edit out all that crap about the Avengers and all that.
I am. I will.
Because that's modern new stuff, and it's grumpy.
You know.
Hey, but don't edit this out. Wait a minute. Because that's McClinky glass there. Because that's, makes it sound like we are in a lounge. Not really in a lounge. We are in a lounge.
With action figures.
Yeah. We need some bossa nova music playing in the background,
Blame it on the bossa nova. Amazon Women on the Moon.
Amazon Women on the Moon? I hadn't seen that in years.
Don No Soul Simmons. Blame it on the bossa nova.
Don No Soul Simmons.
With its magical spell.
I forgot about that. Man, that's what we're going to have to do a podcast sometime on Amazon Women on the Moon, Kentucky Fried Movie, and wasn't there one other one like that? It was just a send up of movies like that.
Yeah. Well, there's UHF, the Weird Al movie.
Yeah, that's a little
not quite
different.
not quite.
No, because that was a linear story. I mean, this was this was just kind of bits.
Yeah.
That would be a good topic one night, because those are fun.
Okay,
fun movies.
I don't know why this suddenly popped into my head, but have you ever seen the movie Grim Prairie Tales?
No.
Okay, you really
sounds good.
Okay, well,
is it porn?
Just a couple hours of porn. A couple hours, triple X, Anyway,
no big deal.
Oh God. What was that? A Grim Prairie? Oh God.
Might even be 3 hours.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So,
yes.
Grim Prairie Tales is not porn. It's horror. It's an anthology movie, which is probably why, because it's like 3 different stories with a framing.
Cool. Okay.
And it's probably why, because you were talking about the Amazon Women and Kentucky Fried being a series of vignettes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just whacked the microphone for some unknown reason. But so that's probably why I thought about it. However, while it's not porn, the segment that I want you to see
is
not porn, but it almost could be. It's,
okay.
It's not triple X because you don't see anatomy or anything. There's no penetration on screen.
I'll watch it anyway.
But thematically, it fits in with the porn.
Okay.
Oh God, you should see it. It's so hard not to tell you why I want you to see it because it'll spoil it.
That's all right. Let me stay in suspense and let everybody else listen stay in suspense.
Find it.
If anybody's listening still at this point,
if you get bored in the first segment, just fast forward to the second segment because it's awesome.
And do the same with the podcast if you want.
There's another one, anthology movies from in the 70s and 80s, right? Of the
what
anthology movies?
Wait, what, horror?
Yeah, all the Amicus ones, and then
yeah, there's a ton of them.
Then you get in the 80s, and you get Tales from the Crypt the movie,
yeah,
and Twilight Zone the movie, and
Tales from the Crypt 2,
and Tales from the Crypt,
which had the cool animated
Braddock Tales from the Crypt 3,
Braddock
Tales from the Crypt in Space, Tales from the Crypt in the Hood, Breakin', Tales from the Crypt 2, Electric Boogaloo,
the Phantom Tales from the Crypt Menace. I don't know.
Remember when Electric Boogaloo wasn't overused? Remember when our generation first realized the comedy potential of assigning Electric Boogaloo to all sequel names?
Yes, I do remember that,
and it was fun.
Do you know there is a canon documentary coming out called Electric? I think it's called Electric Boogaloo.
Sold.
Yeah,
sold.
There's a Facebook page for it. They keep pimping it. I don't know when it's coming out, but it should be pretty soon. I'm all about that.
Canon Pictures Fantasmo podcast coming soon.
Ooh.
We will be discussing the classic Mario Van Peebles vehicle, also starring Paper Chase Guy, Exterminator 2.
Paper Chase Guy. And every Chuck Norris film ever made. After a certain point.
We will be discussing Death Wish 3.
Rhinoceros. Topless.
Yeah, in an unfortunately harrowing scene.
Yes.
However, we should probably shoot this thing in the head and put it down.
Let's put it to bed. What do you say? Can we end on a high note on something cool, something up and peppy and fun, or not?
High note.
How about this? How about
just a couple hours of porn trailer?
It's just a couple hours. The next podcast, are we going to do? What do we got for a topic? Did we decide?
No, we got a month's worth of material in the can, pal. I got nothing.
Well, it may be a classic horror film.
I think it should be. We should go back to that.
We had talked about maybe doing one on the Karloff Lugosi Black Cat.
Yeah.
Which would be good. We talked about Island of Lost Souls at some point, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
Something somewhere in there. Let's do that.
We could do a poll on the Facebook page, and
hey, that's a good idea.
The 3 people that participate will get get the episode that they want to see.
How about that? How about we do a poll, or just write in to the Fantasmo After Dark Facebook page. What do you want to hear us talk about in the next podcast?
Let's take a horn poll.
We could have been in the Elmer Snodgrass building tonight, but I think I already used that.
Oh. No, that you got to save that for the final episode of Fantasmo After Dark. The Elmer Snodgrass building.
Or the Mr. Douglas building. The beat down Mr. Douglas building. So the next podcast, do you want to hear us talk about the Karloff Lugosi Black Cat, or Island of Lost Souls, or...
Save it for the Facebook page, pal.
I'll put it on the Facebook page. Go to the Facebook page, look at the topics, tell us which one to talk about, and by God, that's the one we'll talk about.
By God.
Or we'll just talk about, 2 or 3 hours worth of porn trailers.
It's just a couple hours.
Just a couple hours. Good night.
Good night.